I am Joanna Jacoby. I'm reading from Acts on October 12th, 2020, chapter 9, verses 32 through 43. Now as Peter went here and there among all the believers, he came down also to the saints living in Lydda. There he found a man named Aeneas, who had been bedridden for 8 years, for he was paralyzed. Peter said to him, Aeneas, Jesus Christ heals you. Get up and make your bed. And immediately he got up, and all the residents of Lydda and Sharon saw him and turned to the Lord. Now in Joppa there was a disciple whose name was Tabitha, which in Greek is Dorcas. She was devoted to good works and acts of charity, and at that time she became ill and died. When they had washed her, they laid her in a room upstairs. Since Lydda was near Joppa, the disciples, who heard that Peter was there, sent 2 men to him with a request, Please come to us without delay. So Peter got up and went with them, and when he arrived, they took him to the room upstairs. All the widows stood beside him, weeping and showing tunics and other clothing that Dorcas had made while she was with them. Peter put all of them outside, and then he knelt down and prayed. He turned to the body and said, Tabitha, get up. She opened her eyes, and seeing Peter, she sat up. He gave her his hand and helped her up. Then calling the saints and widows, he showed her to be alive. This became known throughout Joppa, and many believed in the Lord. Meanwhile, he stayed in Joppa for some time with a certain Simon, a tanner. Here are some questions for you to think about. What connections do you see to the overarching theme of taking the gospel message to the ends of the earth? What connections do you see within traditional scripture references? How did this enhance your understanding of today's passage? What similarities did you hear between the first century church and the American church today? N.T. Wright writes, Do not forget to celebrate, as Luke does here, the fact that apparently ordinary people are not ordinary to God. Who are the Aeneas and the Dorcas in our midst, and who of great faith that are easily overlooked?